everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of the Indie Film Cafe End of the Month Haul. I'm
Right.
your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with my co-host.
Well, Presenza, otherwise known as the Moo Cow, currently stuffing his face with fruit.
There you go. And my co-host for what is it, the Mainstream Monday on Horror Film Lovers, but also has his own channel called Dark Park Films. Please welcome
John Ward, also known as the Holy Cow.
Not
Holy
stuffing
Cow.
his face with fruit.
Not stuffing his face with fruit. Neither of us
No,
are.
but I do have my Top Gun Maverick coffee mug, so I am drinking coffee out of my Top Gun Maverick coffee mug. So
I wish I was drinking out of this one, my LaRusso Auto Group.
okay. So both of us got movie mugs. Okay, good. Well, TV show mug and
My
movie mug.
TV show mug, but it's good. Karate Kid is a movie, and
Katie Holmes
know,
is lucky
I'm-
she's still not married to Tom Cruise because I get the feeling John Ward would kidnap her, hide her away, and then say, "I'm available, Tom."
There was a coffee mug, and I did put it on Facebook saying I have to buy this mug, and it says like my husband is Tom Cruise, and it shows a picture of him. So I was like, I need to buy this.
That's funny.
all right. Well, with that being said, we do a monthly haul here where we show off the movies that we get for the month of May, or well, this for the month of May, this May, and we do 10, going around, and then another 10 going around in a circle. So I'll go first, Paul goes second, and John will go third. So
He
fun
likes
time.
bringing up the rear.
Where I need to be.
All right. Whatever makes you happy, John. All right. So first off, is a little Denzel Washington movie called Out of Time.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
I don't think I've ever seen this though, but I'm sure
I've
one
never
day I'll
seen it.
get it on Blu-ray if it is on Blu-ray or
I
whatnot.
remember playing it at the movie theater I worked at.
Okay. Next is a TV show from BBC that I've never seen or never even heard of. It's season 1 of Copper.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's very good. First season's the best.
Okay. Well, perfect then. It's the one I got. And then next is, did I do these already? Like, I think I might have done some of these, so bear with me if I have.
I don't think it matters. I did the same movie for 2 months and nobody caught it. I didn't even catch it until I went back and looked at the videos.
It happens.
Okay, well, I don't think maybe I haven't done this one, but I know I got it. So it's called Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh my God.
It was only
Bad.
$1. Yeah, I know that was a waste of $1 to John, but whatever.
I was an extra, and what was it? Bring on the boom, or whatever that's
Yeah,
called.
here comes the
So
boom. Yeah.
here comes the boom. I can't complain then.
Yeah. So this next movie I've never heard of, and it doesn't look like it has anybody that I know of and whatnot, but it looked kind of cool. It's called My Brother's Keeper. It looks like a somewhat of a war movie kind of thing. So
I know the documentary, but not that movie.
Is that like
Whoa.
a BET movie?
Joey Lawrence is in it. So I do know somebody in it. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, he's in it. If you look at
Is he Joey Lawrence or Joe Lawrence?
Joey Lawrence in this.
Okay.
Interesting. So I don't know the other people. Like I don't know who TC Stallings is. Robert Richard, Keisha Knight Polium. I don't know. Anyway, those actors. So I don't know, but it looks kind of interesting. Then one of the most famous Matt Damon movies. And every time I hear Matt Damon's name, I want to do the Team America thing going, Matt Damon. The Talented Mr. Ripley. So
Not great, but not bad.
yeah.
Meh.
And then what? You said meh. Yeah. I didn't think you'd like it. It's too Hollywood for you. I think.
Well, it's also a remake.
Yep.
I believe it's a British show, and they
Yeah.
remade it into this.
Then there's All Dogs Go to Heaven 1 and 2. So I don't have the second one.
I'll take part 1.
I love
Don
part 1.
Bluth.
I have never seen part 2, so I've
Oh,
been dying to just see
That's
it.
when
if anything.
they're like, we're sick of heaven. Fuck this place.
Dogs are gonna go back to Earth. You
Yep.
know. Yeah.
We can pee on
Um.
everything we want on Earth.
Then another movie, which I believe you guys have probably both seen, but I haven't. Which is Jet Li's The One.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I own that on Blu-ray. Yeah.
it's all right if you like action.
Yeah, it looked okay. I mean, I'd
It
like to have
makes
it.
absolutely no sense. It's by
Right.
the some of the writers of the X-Files, but it makes no sense at all.
Nope.
But it's
But
still
lots
fun.
lots of chopsucky.
Yeah, Jason Statham's in it with like a full set of hair.
Oh, I
Awesome.
forgot about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you know it's an early movie with him.
Nice. And then is a Family Guy one. It's called Blue Harvest. Looks
Oh,
like
that's
it's
fun. Yeah, their
the
Star Wars
parody
ones
of
were
Star
always
Wars,
fun.
yeah. And then Despicable Me 2, which that sounds wrong to say, Me Too. Like Despicable Me Too. Like, I don't know. I'm glad it's not a hashtag. But it's got a 3 mini movie collection also, which has short films, The Puppy, Panic in the Mailroom, and Training Wheels, all like Minions.
I heard those are funny. I haven't seen any of them, but
Yeah, actually, I'm friends on Facebook with the guy who wrote the Minions movies and stuff and whatnot, Brian Lynch, and he'll comment when I'm wrong about something or whatever. So good for him.
cool.
He'll um. But anyway, I love the dude to death and appreciate that he made these movies. You know.
Sweet.
And last but not least, it's a Disney movie called The Search for Santa Paws.
Huh.
And this looks like something we should have showed like Lenore or something. You know, she would love that. But aside from that, that's it for my first 10. So Paul, you're up.
Okay, well, in my group, I've divided them into stinkers and non-stinkers. So I'm going to go with the non-stinkers first. First couple are stuff that I actually found at Goodwill. They were a buck and they're educational and they looked interesting. So they're actually DVDs with little booklets. The first one is called The Origins of Great Ancient Civilizations. So there's a booklet and there's a DVD in there. So you get to watch it and you get to read it. So it's pretty cool. It's like a college educational thing.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And then the second one is Great Masters, Gene Mozart, His Life and Music. So there's a DVD and a booklet going off about Mozart. And I happen to love Mozart. So
Good stuff.
yeah, I thought it was cool for a buck each. Can't beat
Yeah.
that, right?
Who was the one that cut his ear?
That's Van Gogh.
That's Van Gogh. Okay.
That's an artist. Yeah.
I know, that's an artist, not a musician, but I was trying to think of somebody that cut his own ear.
So the same place, I found another TV thing. This is BBC, just like yours, and this is John Neville. I don't know if you remember John Neville, but he was kind of a big deal back in the day.
Yeah, he was a British guy.
Yeah, and this series is called The First Churchills.
Nice.
So it's like Winston Churchill's famous ancestors, and it's a
Interesting.
four
I
four
got a
DVD set.
interesting that I got a BBC thing and you got a BBC thing.
Yep. We're both into BBC.
Apparently so.
Next we have there go my Blu-rays.
Doesn't BBC stand for Big Caucasian? You can put in the other word.
No, it'd be BBC, so it'd be B something Caucasian.
Oh, Big Black something?
Yeah. Something.
BBC?
Cucumber.
Yes.
Next is another series. This is first season of a show that I really liked. I've only seen a few episodes, but I really liked it, and it's from Australia, and it's Mr. In Between. I don't know if you know that show.
Never
Oh
heard
yeah.
of it.
He's like a no nonsense, no bullshit dude who gets involved in all kinds of shenanigans and stuff.
Shenanigans. I call
yeah.
shenanigans.
Yeah. It's really good. So I was cheap and I got it. Next, we got a wackadoodle, and I mean wackadoodle Criterion. I am very surprised they picked this movie up because this is in the level of Singapore Sling, Salo, that kind of stuff. And
Well,
it's a
they picked
movie.
up Salo, you
Yeah,
know.
I know. Well, I guess it makes sense because they now do Sweet Movie. Can't wait to show you this, Mr. Moody.
Was is this going to be for our extreme thing or
This
whatever
will
we're
be
doing?
criteria. This is Criterion, baby.
Oh Lord.
Yep, yep, yep. That's a very strange movie, and I have it on DVD too. So weird. Speaking of which, remember we did, and I had picked up the Criterion version of Night Moves. Well, I also happened to find the DVD version of Night Moves, the non-Criterion version. So it was $1. I thought, why not?
It's a good movie. I don't know, John, have you seen Night Moves with Gene Hackman?
No, I know of it.
You
I
should. It's
definitely
good.
know of it, but I haven't watched it yet. No.
It's pretty
I
good.
also know the song by Bob Seger.
Next, we have a really good movie from the people who made The Babadook. And I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of this one, but it's called The Nightingale.
I heard of it, yeah.
It's pretty
No of it.
rough,
Yeah.
but it's good. I liked it. Next, we have one of those movies that is a Hollywood film that I thought I wasn't going to like, and then I went and watched it, and man, I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It happens every now and again, like on My Cousin Vinny, or every now and again, Hollywood manages to subvert my expectations, and it is Galaxy Quest.
That's
Right.
a good one. I really
It's
wish they would
fun.
release the uncut version of that, but they never will.
So when you're saying that, you're saying things that are in the 90s or whatever. I don't think there's anything now that you would, except maybe the Mad Max for your Furiosa, or whatever that you liked because you generally like the movies that are more independent that come out
Yeah,
that are, you still don't like the because Hollywood really hasn't been doing many original films, or
yeah,
whatever. They do remakes or something that has a following or whatever. They're just too afraid to lose money these days.
right.
And you know what's funny to think about that? Like people are saying like all the time, and I think this goes back to something you said, John, earlier today. You're saying to me, Hollywood doesn't like listen to all the people that tell them that they
Nope,
need a change. And
nope.
and you think that a studio executive would hear this stuff and be like, it's kind of true. We're losing a lot of money on these
No, they want to save
stupid.
their jobs. They're listening to whatever their boss has to say, and their
Well,
boss
the
is
boss
not
doesn't
listening to
know
anyone either.
But
shit.
the
Yeah,
boss could be brilliant if the boss went onto YouTube and went, "Fuck, why did Snow White bomb so bad?" And then, okay, I'm gonna watch some videos on this. I'm gonna listen to Joe Blow reviewer, and we're just gonna see what the typical person has to say. And then he then could go to everybody else and go, I came up with this brilliant idea. This is why things are this way. We're gonna have to change it. And then everybody would go like, oh my God, you're brilliant.
yeah,
Because
they're
they're gonna
totally
kiss the
insulated
ass of the big
themselves.
guy.
They've totally
So
insulated themselves from the rest of us. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't. It's just you could listen to just a guy who's maybe like us that's in his bedroom or whatever it is, or you can listen to somebody like Nerdrotic or the Critical Drinker or somebody who's on Pierce Morgan and all that,
deep focus
and
lens.
yeah, and get something out of that.
Here,
Patrick H. Willems or these people who have smaller or bigger platforms, and maybe you could come up with something good.
here's an
They won't.
interesting thing though. What they do typically, they do buy movie scripts, right? They'll buy a really good movie script. If they see something good, they'll buy it. They won't make it, but they'll buy it. And then they'll hire the writer to write whatever they want them to write, right? So they'll be like, you did a really John Ward, you did a wonderful script. I
Oh, thank
loved
you,
your script. It was
thank you.
amazing. It had great structure. It had great characters. It
It
was
took
an
me 10 years to
original
write.
film.
Thank you.
It was probably based on your life. How great. Now here's my script for Charlie's Angels 5. Please go write that for me. Right? And you'll say, "Well, I'll do that if you give me big bags of loads of money." Oh, here you go. Here's big bags of loads of money. I'm going to go write this script, and then they change it and they stick their hands and they do all that stuff. And then it comes out and it's crap because what started as an original script written by somebody who poured their heart and soul into something good comes all of this other stuff, and it sucks, but it's just the way it is these days.
Yep,
Well, yeah,
unfortunately.
and it kind of depends on the person because you could be Sydney Sweeney, and who is, from what I'm seeing, a good businesswoman, and they're like, "Hey, we want you to be in Madam Web," and she's like, "Okay, I'll be in Madam Web if you make my little indie like romantic drama." And they're like, "Okay." So then she's in Madam Web, which totally tanks, and people love because it's bad, and she has a sense of humor about the whole thing. And then she goes off and makes her little romantic drama thing that makes a ton of freaking money. So it's like, you gotta, if you got a name at least, you can kind of, yeah, I'll do your stupid Hollywood movie if you do my Indian film,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is what
yeah.
Woody Allen used to do all the time. Oh yeah, I'll make your Hollywood movie, and then I'll go off and make my little independent
But
film.
now he just did independent films for a long time. Just that's all he ever cranked out is his own movies, and
Yeah.
some of them are great and some of them are
Yeah.
like later. But that was
Well, I got two more. This one is one that I found, and it's definitely an indie. I've never heard of it. I know nothing about it, but the cast includes Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller.
oh God.
Oh God.
You had me
So
at the first two, but no.
this is interesting. I'm curious. It's called The Perks of Being a
Oh, that's a
Wallflower.
great movie.
Oh, I've
That's a
seen
great
that. That's
that
a good.
that
Yeah, that's a good
that's
film.
before
Yeah.
Ezra was Ezra. Okay,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
that
I
I
had
have that
never heard
movie.
of it.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, yeah,
Still
he
love it.
he's been good in some earlier stuff. I mean, he was even good as the Flash when
I'm sorry,
when
they. You have to say
they were. No, I'm sorry, I'm not going to play the pronoun game.
that.
He was good. He
They,
was even good
I
as the Flash in like Justice League and stuff before we knew who he was.
is Ezra Miller transitioning?
Oh,
No.
he's thrown shit at people and tried to beat up people
Oh,
and
I
all of
But he's
that. So he's
not.
been
But he's
arrested.
not transition though. He's still Ezra Miller. A you know, what is it? I don't even know if he's LGBTQ or he might be bisexual, but he is a male and he's not trying to transition. But he wants everybody to call him they and everything their and all that. Whatever, I don't care. Like that's what I'll play along just because
Not me.
it's just a pain in the ass not to. But
He's a lunatic. He's
I
completely insane.
I just don't. I think it's okay if you are transitioning and you're becoming a you know, or if you consider yourself non-binary or something like that. Fine, I'll call you they them because that's what you want to be called.
mean,
That's fine. But Ezra is not. You know.
it is
Uh,
not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm not worried about it. It's not me.
yeah.
Doesn't affect my life. If that's what he wants, that's fine, or they want.
Yeah.
Um, Last one is one that I knew about and heard a lot of good things about, so can't wait to watch. And again, cast Liam Neeson and Pierce Brosnan together.
Huh. Nice.
Seraphim Falls, talking about westerns.
Oh,
Nice. That
okay.
was good. That
That's a
was
good
good.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my first 10.
You should watch that in June for Western Month.
The good ones.
All right. And John, your turn.
Okay, this I don't think I've shown. I just think I've shown it with Philip. But maybe I have here. This is my Moody moment of I don't know if I've shown this or not
Mhm.
because it's been so long and I know I've shown it somewhere. But it's Legend with Tom Hardy playing two different roles.
I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, that's actually a good movie.
Yeah, he plays the Cray brothers.
Yep, 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 yep. I
And
enjoyed
they
that.
made a movie before this called The Craze with the two
Yeah,
brothers from Spandau Ballet. And
I have both of them.
yeah, this is it's interesting. So it's yeah, Ronnie Cray and Reggie Cray, and they were. I wish I liked this movie, but I wish it was more violent since they were like absolute total nightmares when they were kind of like, running the city. It's a British film, but he's good in it. They do the two roles very well.
And it's funny if you
So,
ever remember the old Monty Python skit with the hedgehog, didn't you? That's all based on the craze. It's funny.
oh, okay, I didn't know that, but I do
Yeah.
know the skit. Yeah. So yeah, this is interesting. It's got a good cast in it, and I enjoyed it. Then we have, now we're getting into comic book territory, Spawn.
Yeah.
So we got that, the movie version of Spawn, which they're
I liked it.
remaking.
Yeah,
I
it's all right.
liked it. I liked John Leguizamo as the villain.
That was his
It's
best role, if you
one
ask
of the
me.
few films I like him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not himself. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in all that makeup.
he's in all that makeup and he's just so and he's farting and he's acting goofy and shit. It just was like, what in the world am I watching? But like I can't not stop
That's
watching
pretty
it.
much the comic book. So I used to collect the comic book.
I never yeah. Todd McFarlane, I believe.
Yeah. And then this one is based off of a graphic novel. Paul may like this one. This is a great movie. Road to
Oh yeah, I've
Oh
seen
yeah,
that. Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks.
I always say perdition, but it's not perdition.
It was a
isn't it?
Sam no, it's
Per
Road to Perdition.
dition, like perdition. But
Yeah,
I think I add like an extra
Tradition.
letter in there.
Perdition. Yeah, it's a
Perdition.
it's Sam Mendes movie if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
pretty good.
and it's Tom Hanks as the villain. So
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so it's a good
That's
movie.
not something you generally see.
now this is something I don't know how you guys. I don't know if Moody likes war movies. I don't think you do. You're trying to get into them, and
I'm
Paul may not like the actor in this one, but I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But it is We Were Soldiers, which
Oh
is
yeah, I've seen
one
it.
of the best war films I have ever seen. It's
No, it's
from
Mel
the
Gibson, yeah.
yep, Mel Gibson is the commander in
Wasn't
this.
it before
It's
he became kind of
Like
crazy?
around the time he started going nuts.
yeah, and it's Randall Wallace. It's written for the screen and directed by Randall Wallace, who works a lot with Mel Gibson. He also wrote Braveheart.
Yeah, Braveheart,
Um,
yeah.
but this is, and I got to be honest, I teared up. I teared up during this. It is one of the best war films I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty good.
yeah, I mean, I loved it.
I'll definitely have to check it out at some point. I know of it, I just never watched it.
Um, Here is one that does not have a great title, but it is the title of this or the name of the sub, K-19, The Widowmaker.
Uh Harrison
So
Ford, right?
Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson. There we go.
Hmm.
There's my connection to him. But this is one of those ones where they're all speaking in like Russian, and then the camera zooms in and then pulls out, and then they're speaking in English type of thing.
Nice.
So yeah, because they did it in The Hunt for Red October, they did it in Mission Possible Dead Reckoning. Anytime when it's normally somebody speaking like Russian or German, they always do that transition to English. But it's not a bad film. It's a good movie. I liked it. Just does that, and it's Catherine Bigelow directed this. So then we have one. This has got to be Paul's favorite movie. I know he owns probably every version of this, every format possible, because he loves big disaster movies, and that is The Core. Uh,
Oh yeah, I have it. It's a crappy film.
Yeah,
it
I never saw it.
it's fun in a dumb disaster type of way, like
No, like a dumb
Earthquake
disaster
or
movie.
Towering Inferno. It's one of those
Towering
movies.
Inferno was a good movie though. I liked it. I don't know. Like I enjoyed Towering Inferno.
It's not bad. The O.J.
It's
Simpson stuff is
it's
interesting.
dumber
So
than that.
Yeah,
it follows everything. I mean, it really is like Independence Day or Armageddon.
the day after tomorrow, right?
Any of those things where, yeah, you're gonna have like five or six people. They're gonna go someplace. At least one of them will die heroically. One of them will die tragically, and it follows. Like this could almost be a parody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's good. Good in a bad way.
Okay.
So
If I
um,
see it out and about, I'll probably grab it.
I think it's worth it. I mean, if you enjoy cheesy stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this is I got two that are from Colin Farrell. By the way, all of these I picked up at Goodwill. So some of these movies I would not normally go to like Zia Records or something and seek them out, but they were there and they're cheap. But it's like, oh, I could watch that again. So this is SWAT. It's got a pretty good cast in it. So
They made it into a TV show, I believe.
Yeah, I never saw it.
well, it's taken from a TV show
But
that
they
then they
brought
put.
back the TV show
Yeah,
and it's got new TV, and
I
they're
good.
they're doing a new like kind of how like CSI will have like CSI Miami and all these other things, they're doing
Spinoff.
that with spin-off with SWAT. So they've got the guy from Criminal Minds, Shamar Moore is the lead of that, next one. So interesting.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I could watch like FBI and some of these other shows that were 20 years old or whatever. I could never watch SWAT. It was just so boring to me. But I mean, I thought the movie was okay, and it's got a good cast. And then continuing with Colin Farrell, we do have The Recruit with Al Pacino, who was the
Yeah.
Yeah, that
one
was
of
all
the
right.
stars of Jack and Jill.
Mhm.
So,
If I ever had a raccoon, I would name him Colin Farrell, but spelled Feral.
boo.
Anyway.
Yeah, and then double feet. I saved the best for last because I know both of you guys love this. I would probably think especially Paul, so the last one. And then this one is a double feature. I don't know any of these surprisingly, but it's a action double feature with Schwarzenegger, and that's Collateral Damage and Eraser.
Um,
Okay. I've
I
actually
liked
never seen either one of them.
I liked Eraser. I thought Eraser was fun. I've never seen Collateral Damage, but
Yeah, I haven't seen
I
either one of them.
Yeah, and they got big directors. Andrew Davis did this one, and Charles Russell
Chuck
did
Russell.
did this one.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I like Chuck
but here,
Russell.
yeah, but here he's Charles Russell. So he's moved on from the Chuck, I guess.
I don't.
But
I'll still call him Chuck. If I ever
but
met
this
him, I'll be
is
like, "Hey, Chuck."
yeah, yeah, from the director of The Fugitive. So maybe yeah, Andrew Davis did this one, director of Fugitive. So yeah, so that's Charles Russell or Chuck Russell, yeah. And then my last one here, surprisingly found this at Goodwill in its entirety. I think it has all the stuff that was included. And that is the special edition of Monty Python and the Holy
Yay.
Grail.
Yay!
Classic.
Yeah. So,
Got a
and
lot of special features on that one. I remember that.
it's got pulled out. This is plastic, which is nice. It's not paper.
It's got all the commentaries and
Yeah, it's
all
got a
that.
whole bunch of stuff on
Nice.
there. And it's got like its little thing in here.
The
It's got like a little
bunny.
booklet, 2 disc. So, and there's Paul. There's Paul falling there, a cow.
Yeah.
Brr.
So, yeah. So those are my first 10. So
All
saving
right.
Okay.
the best for last in this stack.
Alrighty. I don't have a best last whatever. I just got whatever I grabbed that I had and I made sure it was 20. So total. But this next one John Ward may like. I don't think Paul will care for, but it stars Timothy Oliphant and
Mhm.
Dougray Scott, and that's Hitman.
Oh yeah, I own that. I own both of them.
Yeah.
There's two of them. Yeah.
I haven't even watched that one, so
I like Timothy Oliphant. Is he that him with his head
yeah,
shaved?
like look, you can
Yeah, it's based off of a video game.
it's him with like bald and shit.
That's
You would
weird.
have thought that they would have got Jason Statham for that, but they went with
Well, because he was doing his own, transporter and stuff like
yeah.
that. So
Next
the
movie
mechanic.
is a goofy movie. I probably should have got this a while ago for like was it November, but it is The Campaign.
It's a fun but confusing film. I believe there is an underrated version of it that I want to pick up. I own that version too. But it's very weird. It seems like uh, Will Ferrell would be the Republican for how he's acting, but he's actually the Democrat. And Zach Galifianakis is the Republican who acts more Democrat. It's weird how they decided it,
Yeah,
and because even you know, like you could see Will Ferrell, like he looks like a Republican.
right.
It's weird. It's a weird choice that they decided to maybe mix the two. I don't know. It's strange, but it's fun. It's enjoyable.
Never
I,
saw it. I like Zach Galifianakis. I can't stand Will Ferrell.
okay.
I used to
Um,
like Will Ferrell. Can't stand him these days.
so the next one is a very famous Bruce Willis movie, The
Oh,
Sixth Sense.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
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 The film that's only good for one watching.
Yeah.
I
I
see
mean,
dead people.
I mean, once you watch it, you kind of know and it's
I
kind of more fun to watch it afterwards because then, even though you know it, you can start seeing things that you weren't thinking about before.
I'm slowly collecting M. Night's movies because I'm collecting them because they're awful. Like I just got The Last Airbender, and I think he's one of the worst writers ever. The guy's maybe made like 3 good movies in his entire career, maybe
Didn't
4.
didn't you like
But
The Happening though? Like, weren't you
that
one of those?
in a horrible way. I watch it
Okay.
every Earth Day. It is so bad. I mean, come on, you got Mark Wahlberg talking to a plastic plant. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't go wrong with that. And
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know that he made even beyond Sixth Sense. I can't really come up with anything that was.
I would
Unbreakable
say
was amazing.
Unbreakable, Signs was good. His earlier films were good, and then he
I
got
like
kind of full
Signs
of
until
himself.
the end where you see the aliens and they look like every other aliens you've ever seen,
They
like
do.
and I was just like, really? You couldn't have made them look kind of cool, you know?
Another film starring Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, good.
Your
Nice.
doppelganger. My issue with Sixth Sense is it doesn't make sense. Like even when you find out the ending, we're like, oh my God, it doesn't make sense. If Bruce Willis, and this has been long enough, so if Bruce Willis can't figure out there's something wrong, what is wrong with him? Does he try to get onto a bus and he can't pay for it? There's a shot of him talking to the kid's mom, and they're not talking because you figured maybe they already did because they're waiting for him to come home. That's the cheat scene. That is our scene that doesn't reveal that Bruce Willis is dead.
Yeah, he's
And
kind of
it
like the
had
dumbest ghost ever.
yeah, it's like none of it makes sense. Like he would walk in, first of all, he'd be knocking on the door and she wouldn't be hearing anything. Let's say she does because he's a ghost. Brings him in, they sit down, he starts talking to her, and she doesn't respond. And he'd be like, why aren't you talking to me? Respond to me. Him in the restaurant makes no sense. None of this movie makes sense.
Yeah,
It,
you
it's
have to really suspend your disbelief.
yeah, so it's good really for one viewing, maybe two, and then that's it. It's not
Right.
a very well written movie. It's a cheap movie.
Well, a movie that might be a really well written movie. I don't know what you think, but Black Hawk Down with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, it was all right.
Good film,
Um,
Ridley Scott.
yeah, Josh Hartnett. This was like when they were trying to make him a huge star at that time, and then he kind of disappeared.
Kind of disappeared.
And then
Yeah,
now he's reappeared because he did
Yeah,
Trap, and then he did a new movie that
Flight or Fight.
Flight or Fight. Yeah, and I think he's gonna continue. So good for him. I'm glad he's back. I always liked him. I always thought he had a good um I don't know. He seemed like he was on his way to being a good, like, one of those big time
Well,
actors.
he was like the chicken in Mean Girls with Fetch.
Uh
It's a stop saying fetch. It's not going to be a thing. And so Josh Hartnett wasn't a thing. But now that he's back, maybe fetch will be a thing.
Maybe it'll be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So next are two movies that are from the same thing, which is Open Season. It's a Columbia. It's a Sony movie with like Martin Lawrence, Ashton Kutcher. Animated movie. Or
Open
whatever.
season is about hunters going out and killing animals.
Yeah. And then the next one is Open Season 3. And I don't have Open Season 2, so I'll have to get that eventually. But I found those two together, so figured why not, you know. Next movie is a movie that Paul will hate. John will absolutely love that I got this. And because I believe it's by your boy. Yeah, it's by your boy, Uwe Boll, and it's In the Name of the King.
oh yeah, I've already
Dungeon
got it.
Yes.
Siege.
Now the
Bad.
Blu-ray is the unrated director's cut. But that one's still good too, because that's the first one that I've
Well, this
seen.
is a PG-13 movie, apparently.
Yeah, the Blu-ray's unrated, I think, and it's longer. But it's
Even
I like
shittier.
that film. I don't. I think it's not Lord of the Rings. It's not. It doesn't have that budget, but it's no worse than any of the other ones that came after it, like all
Well,
the ripoffs and stuff. It's a good sword and sorcery movie.
I think Paul will like this because there's a couple people in here that
Oh,
he'll
the
like.
cast is
Oh,
amazing.
It's got.
I know it. I have it.
Did you know that Claire Forlani's in
Yep,
it?
yep, yep, yep.
So there you go.
And Burt Reynolds as the king.
That's funny.
That is awesome.
Ray Liotta, like what a weird cast.
It just doesn't
He's a
work for me.
magician.
It's ridiculous.
It's like a
I
wizard.
like a lot of these people. They have no business being in fantasy films. I'm sorry.
That's what makes the casting brilliant. Who would think to cast Burt Reynolds as the
Uwe Boll,
king?
the German director who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing sometimes.
That's
No,
who.
I
I
take
love
that back. Take
I
that
love I
back.
know I can say this because I'm not interviewing him. You are, John. You love the guy. You're a fan. I'm not a fan.
Make a fan.
I can't.
Yeah, no, sorry.
I
No,
cannot
no
wait for his
respect.
new film with Army Hammer. I cannot
But I
wait.
will buy his movies if I find them for $1. You
I'll
know,
buy. You'll
Oh
buy
yeah,
that for a
we'll
I'll
dollar.
buy that for $1. Why
we'll
not?
stick him on Indie Film Cafe at some point. Trust me,
Yeah,
it's on
trust
my
me.
list.
All right. Next is a movie that I think I have on. I might have on Blu-ray, but I'm not even sure. It is Eagle Eye. Um,
That's
with
okay. I've come to like him a little bit more in
That
recent years.
Shia LaBeouf.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
can't stand him. But the chick, that's Liv Tyler.
No, Michelle Monaghan.
Oh, okay.
No,
hey, which goes back to the Mission Impossible movies because she played Tom Cruise's wife.
I'm. Who hasn't played Tom Cruise's wife?
How dare you,
John
sir?
Ward hasn't played it yet. Not
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 yet.
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 You
Yeah,
know.
I'm lobbying.
Another movie you guys will both make fun of me for, but I don't give a fuck. Is Mamma Mia the movie?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan, Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, uh, Amanda Seyfried, and Christine Baranski. Great cast. I mean, but it's like
If I'm going to buy a
chick
musical, it's
flick.
going to be Xanadu or Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which I both own. It's going to be something like that.
Or
It's going to be something.
Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street,
Which
Something like
version?
the
the Johnny
bloodiest
Depp.
one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last, I feel like I've talked about this one or something, or at least so I might have already had this out, but it is Crazy Heart. I feel like yeah, we talked
That is
about that.
a great
Jeff Bridges,
movie.
right?
Yeah,
God,
Jeff
that's a good
Bridges
film.
Never
and
saw it.
Maggie Gyllenhaal. I mean, can't go wrong with
I
Maggie.
love Maggie
It
Gyllenhaal.
is
Um,
great. Just the opening scene, which I've done many times. He gets out of a truck and pulls out a giant one jug container of piss because he had to drive so far and so long that instead of stopping, you just pee in the jug, which I've done, and then you throw it out when you get to the place that you're going. And I just I'm like, oh my God, I've done that. And a
Or
friend of
you
mine who saw
spill
it.
it all over inside your cab.
Well, you got to make sure that you get in the hole there. So, and then you
Trucker's
got,
friend, baby.
yep, yep. You just got to make sure you write on it, don't drink,
all right, so that was the end of my 20. So it is Paul's turn. So we can get away
Oh
from
man, you
talking about
should.
piss.
It is
So
so
on
good.
to the stinkier films.
Speaking of piss,
So the first group comes from when I went up to Richmond and I just kind of went running around and I found the giant donut place and I found the Mexican place and then I went to their Second and Charles, which was very different than our Second and Charles. Different stuff up there, and I managed to find some stuff. In fact, they have dollar clearance areas. I didn't see that in Second and Charles that we have, but they do in Richmond, and I found some gems. I guess you might call them lumps of coal. I found a Brian Bosworth movie that I'd never heard of called Mach 1 or Mach 7. Mach 2.
oh yeah, yeah,
Mach 2.
Mach 2.
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I've
I
heard. I
would
think
watch
I've
that.
seen. I've seen that cover. So
Looks
Yeah.
bad. Of course, it's Brian Bosworth. Next, we have one with, of all people, Don Johnson and Tippi Hedren. And it's called The Herod Experiment. Apparently, it's a bunch of fucking hippies doing hippie shit.
I have no idea, but that's a good cast.
Yep. Next, we got an Adam West movie called Omega Cop.
I think I have that.
Oh
I think I
man, I
have.
would
I have
definitely
that.
buy
I
that. That
have
is
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Gonna be
See,
Um.
that's
bad.
the bad stuff I want to watch.
There
That's
we
the stuff
go.
that I would watch. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I got a bunch of these because I got a bunch of cop movies, right? That I
mhm.
found on eBay, and what I did was I was on Red Letter Media and on their YouTube, and I found that they had a whole action thing that they were showing off all their action collection movies that they have, and they did went into all these cop movies. So they're like Omega Cop and something else Cop, Robot Cop or
Samurai
whatever,
Cop.
yeah, Samurai Cop, things like that. And then so I was like, oh my God. So I went on eBay. Oh, this is only $5. Okay, get this. This is only $5. Get this, like wonderful, So
Yeah, well,
anyway.
this
Yeah.
doesn't even have Adam West. That's some guy up on the cover, and I love how the special features. It starts off with English
Huh.
and in color.
That's the special feature. I hate
Yeah,
when they do that because like don't put that in there. Just say that's the specs
Well,
or
they
something.
they
funny.
got to put something in there. I brought that up on my own videos where I'm like, these are not special features, and then I'll name off what it is. And yeah, it's like, yeah, English, Spanish, Dolby, scene selection.
Actually exists.
It's
Yeah.
So ridiculous. But now the last one, I have to say, I'm not 100% sure. I've heard at least the second one was crap, but the first one might be okay. But it's a two movie collection of The Strangers.
okay. Yes, yes, yes.
So yeah, The
Enjoyed both of
Strangers
those.
1 and then The Strangers Pray at Night is the
Yeah,
second
Part
one.
two
I've
is
got Strangers Pray at Night on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I have both of those on Blu-ray. Part two is better than part one, but they're
I
both
met
good.
the guy
Oh, okay.
who's in that or whatever. I met one of the guys in that.
I
Super nice
just
guy.
watched The Strangers Chapter One. I got that on Blu-ray too, and found it for really cheap, like $5 or something like that, and slipcover and everything. And it is just a horrible remake of the first movie. I don't know how they got Rennie Harlan to do this because they're doing three parts. They already shot the second one. I don't know why they chose to do it this way.
Mm.
It's just a remake, but it's worse.
Well, the next one's going to get Mr. Ward all excited because, again, it's your boy, and it is a bad movie, but House of the Dead.
Oh my God, my favorite Uwe Boll film. I love
We've
House of
got,
the
hey,
Dead.
let's do it. And you know what? We're gonna do that video. We're gonna do
We
that
need to
clip.
do it.
We need to go right here, and I'll
Wait,
hold up, and then
I have his
no, no,
movies
no,
right
no,
here.
no. I was gonna say you just smile because you love your Uva Bowl.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
I thought that would make you happy.
I love House of the Dead. I even saw that in the theater.
I knew when I mentioned In the Name of the King, you go crazy. You know.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I own all of his movies. I think I'm only missing one that's like available. There's other German stuff that I can't find, but yeah, I think I'm only missing one movie.
Oh,
Next, we got a movie. It wasn't supposed to exist. Abominable.
I have that. Yep.
I
Yeah.
think I have that.
You
Yeah.
know I love me some Yeti, Sasquatch, Abominable Snowman movies.
So that looks really cheesy and silly. I never watched it yet, but there's another movie called Abominable, and it's not actually an abominable snowman. It's just a Sasquatch in the snow, and it's kind of sad that they called it abominable when
Hmm.
it's not, just because it takes place, you know, in the snow does not make it an abominable snowman. This, you know, abominable snowman, as everybody knows, is fatter and you know, and
Which
whatnot.
is the one with Tiffany Shepis?
That's abominable. That's
Because
the
they're
one in the snow, but it's a Sasquatch. It's not a abominable snowman. If it's not a
okay, because
Yeti.
well, maybe it's abominable because the movie is bad.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
But there's two cuts of that, isn't there? There's the original cut that came out, and then they did like a director's or producer's cut.
I'm
So
not
there's two
sure.
versions of the movie.
I all I know is it's basically Rear Window with the Sasquatch. You know, it's Matt McCoy. It's
Man, Rear Window with a Sasquatch sounds
I
awful.
would watch that.
that if it said that, you would go crazy, right?
Tell me
You'd be
that
like, okay,
title wouldn't sell.
yeah, Rear Window with a Sasquatch. Why not, right?
Just simply Rear Window Sasquatch.
Yeah. Eek.
I would watch that. You know exactly
Okay.
what it is.
The next one, and I don't remember which of our guests insisted that we needed to find this, but I found it finally, and I got it. Vulture's Eye. It's supposed to be really, really bad. I forget which one of our guests insisted that we get this, but I got it. So
I
you're
don't
gonna
remember.
watch it.
But then we have to find what guest said that. 'Cause
Yeah, we'll have to
now
go
I'm
back
very
and look.
confused. I'm very confused. I don't even know what guest said
I
that.
forget.
Yeah.
Next, we got a couple of silly looking Dollar Tree sort of fantasy movies. First one's called The Darkest Hour.
Oh, I got that. I like that. I got
And
that in
then
3D.
I might have it. I don't know.
we've got Dragon Kingdom. The
I
Kingdom
think
of
I have
Dragons.
it, but don't know.
And finally, we have a weird ass bad film that I can't wait to do for Indie Film Cafe at some point. Although we got to find the right person because it's not a Just Gen film, but it is The Laughing Dead.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah. Yeah. Remember,
A lot of splatter.
Fangoria used to talk about that a lot. Yeah.
Yep, yep. A lot of splatter. It's pretty weird and pretty much at an crazy. It's bizarre.
Oh, so that
So
was it?
that's my
Oh, okay.
bunch.
All right, so it's John's turn.
All right, this is a very mixed bag. Paul will like some of these. Jonathan will like some of these. Some of these, both of you guys will probably hate, but I think Paul will like this first one. And that is, and this is a mixture of Zia, Goodwill, Amazon or not Amazon, eBay. So the first one is TV Classics, Dick Tracy.
Oh, neat.
I never watched Dick Tracy.
Oh, I'm so okay. Because these are the three movies that came out back in the 50s. So it's got like
Oh,
Boris
that's interesting.
Karloff. Yeah, so it's got Dick Tracy's Dilemma, Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome, which is with Boris Karloff, and Dick Tracy versus Cue Ball.
Huh.
So
Yeah, that's
these are,
interesting.
yeah, so these are all like 1950s, I think.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Well, 1940s, 46, yeah. So 40s maybe going into 50s, but yeah,
It's
I think that they're
interest
fun.
it's interesting to think like we had a slate of like so back in the day we had Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, and Lon Chaney, right? Or Lon
Right.
Chaney Jr. and all that stuff as the people like the horror Hollywood people. And then, we had a new wave of people when the 80s rolled around with Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd. All of them are going to pass away soon. Do we have like other
No.
than maybe Art the Clown, like do we have anybody else that
That's what I've been telling you. All the greats have been going away and they're not being
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And
backfilled by anyone.
with what you're saying is each one of those groups kind of filtered in other people. So if you had Lugosi and you had Karloff and Lon Chaney Jr., then you kind of brought in Peter Lorre, which then brought in Basil Rathbone, and then brought in,
Christopher
Vincent
Lee,
Price
you know.
and Christopher
Yeah.
Lee, even a
That's
little
why
bit
I was
later.
saying I don't see any great actors with 35 or below. I see some good ones, but I don't see any great ones.
No,
Mm.
and a lot of that I think is because of the state of Hollywood. Is
Right.
you're
Right.
not going to get one actor who is going to play Dracula like seven times. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
The
And
the era of the great actor is pretty much past.
Joe Turek said like the only one he thinks might actually go that route is Timothy Chalamet, because he's trying. Like he's going up there and trying,
Yeah.
but even him I don't find him like his I don't know. Like I'm not interested in the Bob Dylan movie. I'm not interested in some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
Like
I'm with you on
I
that.
I haven't really like even the more original stuff than the remakes or the sequels and big blockbuster
Well,
comic movies. I haven't
the
been
thing
into that.
is that he would have to be part of a cultural zeitgeist, a movie that redefines stuff or becomes big to sort of equate the great actor with the great film. And we're not doing great films anymore. We're just not.
Yeah. Isn't that
So,
sad,
no.
John? That's sad, I think.
Well, and because it's more about there's very few actors out there who you go to see their films.
mhm.
And you could say Will Smith may be one of them.
Mm-mm.
Tom Cruise is one of them. You go
Mm.
to see these actors that are still considered actors.
One of them for
But
you.
Johnny Depp
well, John,
Nah, he's lost it.
nah, yeah, maybe before,
before
but
the
you,
whole trial, I guess.
yeah, and before he got kind of weird,
I would say
the
Scarlett Johansson is probably the closest.
No,
she
but
could still, she might be able to still
She
hold
could
some
up,
still sell a
people.
movie by herself.
but it was what's his face, the new Black Captain America. I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, I know you're talking about. My
I
brain.
think, I think, but
The guy who
I
plays
just,
Sam Wilson.
yeah, I
Anthony
just don't want to.
Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, thank you. I think it was him, or maybe he was maybe parroting Tarantino. I'm not sure, but it was him. I think who said nobody goes to see movies for actors anymore. They go to see characters. So
Mm.
you don't go to see a movie for Chris Evans. you go to see a movie for Captain America.
I would go one further and I say people don't go to movies to see actors or characters. They go for bling, for bang bang, for special effects. That's what they go for.
I don't know why. Like, my dad will watch he would watch like Spider-Man, Far From Home because it had Italy in it, right? And he was going to Italy, so he's interested in watching that movie for that. And then he hated all the special effects stuff. He's like, I just want to see all the cool scenery. Like he just was like, I don't want to
Yeah,
see all this cool
it's
or this blowing shit up because
it's
after a
the
while it gets boring.
same reason why people go to watch fireworks. I mean, to me, I saw fireworks once. They're the same fucking shit. I don't need to see it again. It's just a bunch of people. You just stand around. It's like a huge crowd. You get bit by mosquitoes, and you see the same shit you've always seen. I have zero interest in fireworks, but people get crazy and they line up for hours to watch the same goddamn fireworks show. I don't
I
understand it.
think it's more of a event, It's more like coming together and going out and doing something. And that is the movie stuff that's going on. Like people will go out to go see a movie, right? So they'll go somewhere, whatever. Anyway, we're way off
But
topic
it's
and
Yeah, I'll say this and then I'll move on to the next one. Is I I think all of us are right in some ways. Like you could do July 2 years ago and look at the movies that came out, and most of them bombed. Indiana Jones and that Dial of Destiny bombed. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One bombed. What made a ton of money? Barbenheimer. So somebody came up with this great gimmick of I mean, they're two different companies of combining them together, of getting women to drag their boyfriends and husbands to Barbie, and then the guy could drag his wife or girlfriend to Oppenheimer. And both of them, Barbie made over 1 billion. Oppenheimer made a ton of money too, but it didn't hit 1 billion. But it did win his best film. And what else made a ton of money? Sound of Freedom, an independent film that made so much money that Disney should be ashamed of themselves for shelving it and then selling it off.
Yeah.
well,
It all matters. Just I think that January says a lot, and it's like now what is going to make a lot of money this weekend? Lilo and Stitch. What won't make a lot of money, but I'm hoping it does? Mission Impossible. But it's a 3 hour movie to a sequel to a franchise that's been out there for 30 years. I don't think it's going to make its money,
Well,
and it has to
plus
make well over 2 billion.
Tom Cruise is like 65. Nobody's buying him jumping off of planes and shit. It
But
just
it's all
can't do
real.
it anymore.
I mean, he's attached to bungee cords and stuff that gets CGI'd out, but it's still real. All the stuff he does on the biplane in this new movie he's doing, it's not CGI. It's not green screen. It's all
no.
real because
I,
I've seen the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I
But
just don't think anyone wants to see it anymore.
But
But
it's Lilo and Stitch is the one that's going to make a ton of money. But then Jonathan sent me that video of the actress going, "Yeah, the original sucks."
I
I wouldn't go near it, so I wouldn't know. And haven't seen Barbie or Oppenheimer yet, so yeah, I'm just not part
Barbie's
of that
awful.
thing.
all right, come
So,
on, let's move
all
on
right,
to the next one.
okay, stay on target. Uh,
Exactly.
Now this one is we're talking Madam Web bad, but it's enjoyably bad, and that is Halle Berry in Catwoman.
Oh
Oh
God,
God,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a catastrophe of epic proportions, but a lot of fun. And who the hell doesn't want to see Halle Berry dressed as Catwoman? Please.
And it bombed. And Sharon
Yeah.
Stone is really good in this too. And it's directed by Pitov, or maybe Pitoff, but there's only one F.
Tough.
Pitof. That's
Pitof.
who's directed. Pitoff.
Pitof.
No last name. So, and I had to make sure to get the widescreen edition. But there's a fair amount of special, bonus features on it. So
Nice.
had to get that. This is one that I think Paul may laugh at, and I got it because it falls into the Conan the Barbarian type of stuff. It is Tarzan the Ape Man. Paul,
Oh,
do
the
you
Miles
remember
O'Keefe
who?
one?
No, no. Oh, yes, no, yes. It is
Yeah,
the Miles O'Keefe one. He's just not listed. Bo Derek, directed by Bo Derek's
yeah,
husband,
bad.
with Richard Harris.
Hmm.
Nice.
So got that one, and then this is a behind the scenes. I own the box set for The Omen. which also has the remake, and I also have The Omen Legacy, which is a great documentary. And I saw this at Savers, and I'm like, oh, I must as well pick this up. And that is exclusive Walmart bonus disc, The Omen Behind the Screams. And
Hmm.
it's the making of the remake, which
Oh,
was god awful.
Really? What
Just
a surprise.
it was horrible. And of course, so was the first Omen, was garbage too, especially the ending. But this is includes behind the scenes features, interviews, and more. 45 minutes of exclusive footage. So
Daddy, no.
uh, it's so awful. Got this one here, The Man in the Iron Mask. Great
Yeah,
cast.
yeah,
You know,
I've
so we
heard
got the
I think that's a remake too.
yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
well, yeah, because it's the Musketeers and stuff like that. But
Tepid
it's
Hollywood remake.
yeah, it's Randall Wallace, so I picked it up. So this one, my buddy Philip recommended. It's one of his favorite movies, so I picked it up. The Count of Monte Cristo,
Nice.
also a good cast.
Oh,
So
Jim Cazale.
yeah, Guy Pearce and Richard Harris. That's Richard Harris again. So I got two Richard Harris movies in here.
Yeah, I never actually
So
saw that.
yeah, I've heard it's good. It's Kevin Reynolds, who's a good director. He mostly works with Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
Um,
with Waterworld
Waterworld. Um, and Robin Hood.
and Robin.
Um,
Robin Hood was good.
and then Reign of Fire,
Oh yeah.
Nice.
big dragons
Big
taking over the
Dragons.
world.
It's kind of silly,
So
but it's kind of enjoying too. It's got its moments.
yeah. And then this one I heard about and forgot, and I'm glad that I found it because I've been interested in the sequel book, and that is the mini series of Rosemary's Baby.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that.
So it was I think like a yeah, two nights, two parts, so two
Ooh.
nights. The first part is like the remake of Rosemary's Baby, and then I guess like the second part is the book Son of Rosemary or Son
I
of Rosemary's
love
Baby.
Zoe Saldana. She's flipping gorgeous. Ugh,
Okay.
what a heartbreak.
Yeah, she is. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm very curious because I did pick up the prequel to the original Rosemary's Baby called
Rosemary Zygote.
Apartment 7A. So it's the events that take place before Rosemary's Baby, produced by Michael Bay. And so I picked that one up too,
Of course, because it's produced by Michael Bay.
of course. This one I know Paul will go, ugh. Jonathan may like it, but I think these are freaking hilarious. Daddy's Home two movie collection, parts one and two.
Nice.
Yeah, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, well, they're Will Ferrell, so of course Paul will
No.
like them. But no,
Well, it's the first one is, who at the time, what goody two shoes do you get? Will Ferrell. And then if you want a guy who has like a criminal past to play the bad guy, you get, Mark Wahlberg. But if you're going to do a sequel, who do you get to play Mark Wahlberg's dad? Another crazy person, Mel Gibson. And then, of course, who do you get to play Will Ferrell's dad? John Lithgow, who could play any role he wants.
yeah,
And he's perfect in it.
you
So
know he's
these,
getting a lot of hate right now because of Harry Potter.
not as much as the guy who's playing Dumbledore,
Who's playing Dumbledore?
a black guy.
I thought the
And
black guy was playing Snape.
oh, I'm sorry, Snape. I got the name wrong. Lithgow's playing Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Snape. So yeah,
I didn't even know
I
there was more Harry Potter coming out.
It was
yeah.
I think it's
It's
a TV
HBO.
series or something on HBO or something like
Each
that.
each book is a different season.
I'm
Oh.
surprised they're doing it.
Well, I mean, that's the problem is they're being boycotted right now by people who hate the writer, J.K. Rowling.
Well, they're
So
being boycotted on both ends. Is that people are boycotting it because J.K. Rowling is involved, but then on the other end, people are boycotting it because of the casting choices. And HBO said, "We are going to do 100% of the books." Nope. No, you're not. So I am not watching it. I will watch the
It
originals.
sounds like it's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's
it's
so
gonna. I think the first season's gonna bomb, and they're just not gonna do any more seasons after that.
And who's running the show over at HBO? Why couldn't you have just spent some resources and some time finishing off Game of Thrones properly? You
I
know?
don't. so I know Warner Brothers Discovery owns HBO, but I don't think that they have their own specific people taking care of HBO. I mean, it's just it's a mess over there right now. They really haven't,
Mm.
some of their
Well,
stuff
and
is,
now changing the name of the company again, it was
Again,
HBO Max, then it was Max,
yes.
now it's
The
HBO
fuck,
Max again.
man.
It's
HBO
like,
was like the rock of quality for such a long time, and now it's like, what's going on?
wait,
yeah,
they changed it back to HBO Max?
yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, I've been calling it that anyway. I've not
Yeah,
been calling
nobody
it
calls
Max.
it Max. Everybody just says, "Oh, it's on HBO."
Yeah, or HBO. Yeah. Why?
I
Why do
mean,
you even?
people don't even call X X. They still
It's so
call it Twitter.
stupid. They spent decades building up the name HBO. Why would you walk away from that? Everybody
Because
knows
it's
HBO.
hip. The young
No, it's
people.
not.
It's hip to just say Max.
Somebody, again, some stupid bright spark gave this idea, and they're like, oh, okay. Oh. It's dumb.
They
Hmm.
should just call it H or just M or maybe HM
Let's
this
just
week
call
on
it
HM.
HBO.
Yeah, just HBO.
HBO. Like, I mean, it's HBO had its own brand. The reason they changed it was because they were afraid people thought Game of Thrones for HBO or Sopranos for HBO, which were more not targeted for kids, and
Ding, ding, ding.
they were trying to get stuff like
Fucking kids ruin
Looney
everything.
Tunes and things like that onto HBO
Ruin
Max.
everything.
And then all of a sudden, so parents were complaining, like, I can't have my kids watching Game of Thrones, when they're supposed to be watching Looney
No,
Tunes.
you can't. You be the goddamn parent. Take responsibility. If your
But
kid's watching it, it's your fault.
not to defend Disney, but Disney Plus is aimed more. It's supposed to be aimed more at kids. Hulu is adult, but you could still go on to Disney Plus, and right there it's Hulu. And you
Yeah.
click on Hulu, and that brings you right over to
You just got to
Hulu.
pay for both, or
Yeah, it's
whatever,
just
like
yeah,
their
they're like
bundle
they're
pack.
yeah, they're included in the subscription. And Disney isn't really they're not even really doing that great as far as streaming goes. But it's like excuse me, but probably always two. But yeah, these people don't have any idea what they're doing, and they're hiring people who have no idea what they're doing. And it's which brings me to my last one. So I bought the first one of these because I heard about the anniversary edition being heavily edited because of today's wokeness. So I went out and I bought the first movie. And then I said, you know what? There is a triple feature. I'm just going to buy all three of them. And so then I sold the other one. And that is the triple feature of Crocodile Dundee 1, 2, and 3.
I didn't even
They're
know there was a three.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
LA.
it's LA.
They're all so you got Crocodile Dundee, and then you have parts. Oh, Crocodile Dundee 2 and 3. So they're all on their own disc. Crocodile Dundee is so I guess you'll always have the DVD of the original movie. The I guess it's the like Blu-ray 4K version that's coming out, and Paul Hogan okayed it. They cut 3 minutes out of the movie. So anything that they found offensive to today's market, basically Generation
So when he
X,
grabbed the crotch.
that's gone. When
Yeah.
he's in drag, it's gone. So all of this stuff has been edited out.
Yeah, that
And so
sucks,
it,
man.
yeah, and it's like, no. Now, if you're going to pull a Spielberg and release both versions of ET, fine, whatever. I'll never watch the one where the FBI agents have the walkie-talkies. I'll watch it where they have the guns, the original ones. But so I decided to, even though I didn't really like part two and I haven't seen the third one, I did like the first one. And so I figured I might as well pick all three up just in case he decides to
I
edit the other ones.
can't say I ever really liked it. I saw the first one, I saw the second one, and thought that was even worse. But
It's not
you,
good.
you, I just don't understand why you would change the movie for just to try and fit in with the latest political thing. Because you're just going to go back and forth when it changes again. That's just so stupid.
Yeah. And I don't really think a Gen X no, I'm sorry, not Gen X, I said Gen X. Gen Z is what I meant to say, Gen Z. Is even gonna buy Crocodile Dundee.
No, they don't care. They
Yeah.
don't
You
even
know,
care about it. That's the
It's the
crime
funny
about it.
thing because the millennials will probably buy the Crocodile Dundees and maybe some of the Gen X people, but really people like me who like grew up on Crocodile Dundee because it was on cable all the time, or whatever, and you might as well watch it. Well, would buy that, and we don't care about, all of this crap, just the
Right.
same as you guys don't.
It's
I mean,
they're not listening to audiences. They're not listening to people. They're listening to bean counters. That's all they're listening to.
Well, yeah,
How
that's
we
why
can save a bean.
I was at Walmart last night and I found for $5 the movie versions of 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street. And they're both on the same disc. And I watched them. There is no way those movies would be made today.
mm,
I mean, Jonah Hill's character is hitting on a very cute Brie Larson, pre-Brie Larson, and she's a high school student. He's in his 20s and he avoids making out with her and stuff. But man, I'm sorry if there's landscapers outside. I'm sorry if you're hearing blowers and
mm,
stuff. But he wants to. He wants to nail her, but
Groomer.
he can't. And because she's underage and he's in his 20s. But it's there. Like a lot of these humors, including a very young Wyatt Russell, is in the movie too. And then I watched part two, and they're in that's college. That's where Wyatt Russell is. But these movies would not be made today.
Mm-mm.
They just wouldn't. And I mentioned this to Jonathan, is I think at some point this whole thing is going to end. It's all trends.
Let's hope
And
so.
it's going to end, and we're going to have a massive wave of politically incorrect movies that are all going to suck, because every studio is now going to say, okay, we need to get a dick in a pie, or we need to put a guy in a dress.
Well, there'll be one good one, and then that'll unleash the gate, so that there'll be a
Yes.
bunch of followers that'll all suck.
Yeah. Like one, yeah,
That's what
like one good
happens.
one. Yeah, you're
That,
gonna have
maybe
like,
it'll be a remake of Porky's.
oh God.
Well,
But see, even back then, you had Animal House, which was great, and then you had like Porky's and some other ones that were good. But then you had a whole bunch of imitators that were awful.
Hollywood
So
Nights.
yeah, Hollywood Nights was good. Last American Virgin. There's some good ones out there, but I just think we're going to have this wave of just awful politically incorrect movies, and then all of these filmmakers are going to be like, "Oh shit, I guess we shouldn't have edited our movies. Oh shit, I guess we should have made this a little more risky." And then all of a sudden you're going to get somebody like Will Ferrell, whose movies bomb now, because he is so politically correct, or Seth.
Seth
No, not Seth
Rogen.
Rogen. No, not him. Who's Jane Franco's friend? Why am I blanking?
That's
Seth.
Seth Rogen.
Oh, Seth Rogen. Okay,
You
I'm
did say
thinking
the
of
right
Seth
name.
MacFarlane. Okay, then you're going to get him, who's going to do the same thing. Oh my God, I guess I should go make another movie with James Franco. Oh, I guess I should make another politically incorrect film instead of doing all this woke garbage. And it's
Well, I have heard, and this is from Jackie, and Jackie's not woke at all or whatever. She's not like, that's not the way she is. But she said the studio, the TV show, The Studio, is not like, that's more like what it's really like working at a studio, like a film studio. And she said that was really good. And Seth Rogen produced that and created it, so I think it's starting to happen, dude, already. It's just like little pieces are coming, and people are going, "Oh, okay, we're in the clear. We could do this now." And this sounds scary and sad, but I think it's because of our president right now, who, who's trying to get away from all this stuff. People feel a little bit more safe to put a lot of this stuff out.
Well,
yeah.
I've never had a problem with it being woke. I mean, it's just
Oh,
shit
I
that I
do.
already was doing. The problem was having it shoved down your throat everywhere you go by everything because, dude, I was never fucking asleep, so I don't need to have that shit spoon fed to me everywhere I go, everything I turn on. It's just ridiculous. That's the problem, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and stuff is done differently today with it. Like back in the 80s or 90s, you could have a 5'2" woman who basically, wet, would still weigh only like 100 pounds, if that, kick ass. And we wouldn't complain about it. Like she could take on like a 6 foot tall, 300 guy, and she would kick his ass. And we'd be like, yeah. Now today they do that, and it's like, what the fuck? No, 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 would not happen. This is DEI. This is inclusion. You're only having her kick ass because she's a chick and that's a guy and he has to
But
be
that's not
beaten.
Well, you
necessarily
get a lot of
true.
Mary Sue characters now, whereas before
Yeah.
you at least
Ray
got
from
them
Star
developed.
Wars was
You
the
know
Yeah.
first, was really the
exactly.
first. So it's yeah, I mean, I'm like that movie with Jennifer Lawrence, the one where the parents want her to have sex with her son.
Yeah, no
That
hard feelings.
Yeah, that bombed. And I was hoping it would do better because it kind of seemed like they were going back into that direction, but it didn't do well. I'm really surprised at studios. Like we have, movie theaters do those event festivals where it'd be like once a week they play a classic movie or something, and we're getting played, and it's been out here before, Blazing Saddles. I am really surprised that movie is still playing with
Mm.
today's audience. I mean,
Mhm.
the amount of times the N word is said in that is absolutely amazing. I mean, it is.
Wasn't it co-written by a black guy though? Like for that? Like I
It
mean, I
was written by
don't.
Richard Pryor
Yeah, so
and
I feel
Mel Brooks.
yeah, so I feel like I almost felt you were gonna say Bill Gibson.
Yeah.
Because we've been talking about him the whole time. So yeah, I don't know. And I think that's oh, by the way, there's a new thing now, and I don't know if you guys caught this on like it's on TikTok now or whatever. But there's a new thing where they're saying they can't say black people anymore. You can't say black person. You have to say BIPOC, you know? And
What?
I'm just like, yeah, apparently, because
It's an acronym.
it has to include all people, not just African Americans. It's got to
But
include.
BIPOC is like Black people of color or something. It's an acronym, and it's absolutely stupid.
And
So
and so if you don't
and
say it, you get canceled
Yeah, they can
that's
out
like
cancel
of
you.
the
I don't give
thing.
a fuck.
one
Yeah.
person on TikTok as a joke, and I believe it was a black person who said gingers are black people, and it took off like wildfire. And so now all these gingers are making joke videos with black people that they're black. And now it's kind of become this thing where, well, maybe gingers are black people. Maybe
What?
they're repressed too. Yeah,
Oh
you haven't
my
seen that?
God.
It's
No,
ridiculous. Yeah, no,
no.
I don't
It's
follow
been,
any of that
I've seen a
shit.
ton. I
Don't
don't go
care.
on to TikTok, but it's on YouTube. It's all over YouTube.
But just
And
to get back to the chick fighting stuff. Okay, one of my favorite movies of all time. Gonna do it on Film Freaks is a great film from Luc Besson. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the original La Femme Nikita.
No,
yes,
Femme Nikita.
Absolutely fabulous film. She kicks the ass. She's great, but you see her training, you see her trying and failing, you see her going every step of the way before she becomes this professional killer. You don't get that with a lot of these other chicks. And I can't blame the female actors for that. That's the goddamn writer and the director's fault
but they are
for
taking
just
on the
all of a
role.
sudden going, boom, she can do anything. No
Like,
problems.
well, and all the men are being cucked
And
or
all the
they're
men are,
villains.
yeah, are
So
being weakened.
yeah,
It's
so
ridiculous.
it's yeah, and it's it. Kathleen Kennedy does it. Kevin Feige has done it.
And
Bob Iger
you
has done it.
weaken, if you want a strong female, you don't want her fighting a bunch of weak ass, shitty men. You want her fighting a badass guy and still beating him. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's what you want.
but not anymore. Look at that Die Hard movie with the black president with what's her face and
Vivica A. Fox? I don't
Never
know.
watched
no
it.
no this is the one where she's at
Oh, I know what
like
you're talking
the
about.
summit and she played the what is it the the
Vera
type.
something or whatever. Is that her
I'm
name?
blanking on her name. I'm blanking on her name, but she's a big actress, and the bad guy from the boys is in it, and he plays the heavy, and of course she is the one to take everybody out. She's the one. So this little black woman president is John McClane, and she kicks the ass of everybody. Her son is a dud, but her daughter is a computer genius who could take her laptop and get into anything, and her husband is a total cuck. So it's like it's this is Hollywood because masculine men are toxic. You can't unless you're Jason Statham and then you make tons of money in the box office.
Or, remember Thor was a big thing, and now Thor all of a sudden got resorted to comedy, and stuff, and
Oh
and
God,
yeah. And so Chris
Love and
Hemsworth
Thunder.
said he'll never come back as Thor until they create his character to be badass again, like he used to be. Because
Well, friggin' Ironheart is coming out, which I will watch every single episode of because it is supposed to be so terrible. The show was made 3 years ago. It's finally coming out now. They have to release it because the contract says so. And it's basically Riri Williams. I hate that fucking name.
Riri.
And God, I hate Riri. It sounds like retard. Riri. It's just like, why would you name somebody that? And then, but it is a comic book that failed, and she is the brilliant black 20 like or teenager who is better than Tony Stark, who can make anything that she wants, who's a computer genius, and she makes her own costume, her own Iron Man suit, and she's a complete Mary Sue. And I mean, it's like, this is garbage. This is absolute garbage.
Well, it's
And
a
that's
shame because they could have been doing the Amazing Squirrel Girl, who's been around forever. She was very, very cool. She's unbeatable. She can beat Galactus as long as she's got her little squirrel buddy with her, and that's great. She would have been a great role model for girls, and she's already established. It's a great,
The
fun
problem is
series.
in the comics they made her too silly. So they don't want to do
But it
that.
was
They don't want to
fun,
make her
silly.
right, but that's what they don't want to show off
No,
is
they're
they don't want to make her
stupid.
too silly because they don't think people will be
Well, they
into
don't know
that or something.
shit.
I
They
know
don't
they
know
don't know
anything.
shit. I'm not agreeing. I'm just saying this is why.
Uh,
Asking
I
why don't
mean,
they have this? This is
well,
why.
sometimes they'll take something that's not known, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and make it into a hit.
Right.
So, and so it matters. But it's like with this whole Ironheart thing is everybody's saying, well, no, she's black and was brought up in a bad area and she had to do everything on her own. And she had to make her own costume. And oh my God, Tony Stark was rich and white and he had famous parents and stuff. And it's like, no, assholes. He built his Iron Man suit in a cave
Yeah.
by himself with spare parts. It had no money. It had nothing to do with him being white. It had nothing to do with him having privilege. He did something that she couldn't do because at least she had some sort of shop. So it's like, once again, they're trying to make somebody better than the original. And nobody's going to be better than Tony Stark. Nobody's going to be better than Robert Downey Jr. It's not, they don't understand. They don't get it. And it's just awful. It's like fucking Echo and Daredevil Reborn, which I really didn't like because they Disneyfied it.
I mean, this is all comic book shit anyway, so it's.
But you could do it well. Daredevil Netflix was great. Punisher was even better.
Yeah,
And then they Disneyfied it.
Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones was fabulous. Not a Mary Sue. Great, fantastic
I still
lead
need to watch that.
character. She was awesome. I want to see more of that,
Well, she's coming back.
in theory.
No, she's coming back. She's been announced. So,
Mm,
as much as you may not like what Disney's doing, she's coming back.
I'll
But,
believe it when I see it, if it's good.
No,
well,
she was
I
in
don't think it'll be
the
good, but
Defenders.
yeah, they're bringing back the whole Defenders team. I don't know what they're doing with the Iron Fist guy because nobody liked him. So I think they might just replace the actor, because he did that movie or that show bombed. That show was
Well,
awful.
it's
Well,
the
which
wrong
it,
thing. Instead of Iron Fist, maybe it should have been like Iron Kneecap or Iron Pancreas or Iron Eyelashes.
Iron
Iron
Fist.
Foot. Yeah.
Well, and the Defenders can be changed because who they chose for the Defenders were not the Defenders. The Hulk was
Right.
actually the leader. So if you go off
The
the comic
Hulk
book,
is the leader.
yeah, he was the
The
leader of
guy
the
going,
Defenders.
blah, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
remember he is a scientist too. It's Bruce Banner.
Bruce
So
Banner was a scientist, yeah. So
yeah, so
he was Bill Bixby originally, not
that's
Lou
correct.
Ferrigno. All right, well, anyway, that wraps up our little session. Of course, we
May
go
have wandered off our topic.
off topic, stay on target,
Stay on target.
but we ended up talking about some interesting stuff, and whether or not you agree with us, that I don't care. Like
It
whatever.
is what it is.
You can agree, you can disagree. Right now I feel like the state of Hollywood isn't doing very well. but that's not our
Been
problem.
banging that drum for quite a while. You know that.
Hey, we'll
Yeah.
see what happens if those tariffs happen, those 100% tariffs. So I've heard good sides and I've heard bad sides. So
We'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll be back next month for a brand new episode. Hope you guys enjoy it. And everybody's got stuff for. Well, I don't have stuff yet. I'll be able
I
to.
got a
I'll
oh
pile, a
my
huge pile of
God, I have
shit.
stuff for the next 5 years.
Yeah, same here.
Originally when I moved out to or moved into this new apartment, I told you I couldn't do it monthly. It
Yeah.
had to be like bi-monthly because I didn't know if I would have the money. Now it's like crap. I got an endless stack of movies I could
Well,
do.
you picked up like a whole bunch, didn't you? Didn't you get a
Well,
bunch?
I learned about Goodwill and I learned about Savers and all this stuff and how
Savers?
cheap there's yeah, we have Savers out here, which is like Goodwill. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
same thing, but they sell movies
Yeah, we don't
and
have as much stuff out here.
We've got Goodwill. I've got Restore. So if Paul ever wants to go to Restore, I mean, they got crap, at that. They've got like the more Hollywood shit, and stuff I'll be happy to buy, but
Yeah,
and
Second and
then
Charles is about it. That and the movie trade place that I go to in Norfolk.
also I like going to my local library because they have movies too. So it's it just depends. But all right, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We will be back next month for a brand new episode. Until then, everybody, bye.
Bye.